Hey Titans, welcome to another live training on Titanology. Today I want to talk about your content.
Welcome to another live
Why
training
I want
on
to do that?
technology. Today I want to talk
Uh,
about
just give me
your
a second
content.
here. So, why I want to talk about your content is because a lot of people still think that creating content daily is what they should be doing, but creating content in a way that is very entertaining, a lot of reels, a lot of videos, a lot of cute pictures, and whatnot. And sure, I mean, that might work and you will get a lot of views, likes, engagement, maybe as well. But where I want to talk about more is how it will impact your business, your sales, basically. Because there's much more to it, what I believe, into content creation than just making sure that it's entertaining, or if it's about the likes, or if it's about um, how cute the videos or the pictures are. And I think it's also because the platforms itself really promote that you do those kind of things. But I feel we get into a trap with this, in a way that we create a lot of those cute videos, but it's not really related to actually what we want to become as a business. That's what I feel, especially in the field of business building, where it's about services, where it's about a genuine coaching and so on. But again, this is a disclaimer. This is my opinion. This is how we do it within Titanology. And this is really my belief as well, how content creation should be looked at, more than just creating cute reels or cute videos or whatever. Because I hear it a lot. I mean, I hear a lot of people say, yeah, we're creating content, but it's not getting sales. I'm not getting any sales. Or even creating Facebook ads that don't create any sales. So there's an issue there, that it's disconnected from your own strategy, your own business strategy, your own outcomes within your offer, within your service, your product. So people don't really understand what you're doing, except for cute dances or nice pictures or whatever. So that's why I use this kind of method, this kind of strategy behind it. So, also to make sure that I actually get sales from the content that I'm creating, but also that it doesn't become overwhelming. Because if we just fall again into the trap of looking at others, comparing ourselves with others, and seeing that they create content day in, day out, 5 times a day, videos, TikToks, Reels, Facebook, Lives, and whatnot. All of this is content creation for sure. But how does it really connect to your sales? How does it connect to you getting customers? And that is the big question mark. And that is what I want to go through today, to already give you an idea what you should be taking into account when doing this, when thinking about content creation. So, the first thing that you really should be thinking about is the fact that there are many levels of sophistication, levels of awareness. There is the marketing funnel. These three first key points are stuff that you need to know. You don't need to know them in detail, but you need to know enough about it so you can relate this knowledge, this information, with what you're doing. So it doesn't become just spraying and praying that something will stick because you made the best content piece ever, but nobody is actually interested or cares enough to take you into consideration. So That's first 3 levels here, the 3 things that I want to talk about. Pretty short. I'm not going to go into detail because we don't have time for that. Then I'm going more practical, because then we have to take a look at how can we connect all of this, all the content, with what we have to offer. And how do we do it practically? How do we do it within Untitled? And I will show you briefly our process to create content. Now, again, this is just an overview, a small training to already get you into another mindset than just thinking you have to create whatever. You have to be strategic, just as with everything that you do within your business. You have to be strategic about it. Okay. So, what is the first step here? The first step is the levels of sophistication. And this is a term coined by Eugene Schwartz, which he is very famous for creating the book Breakthrough Advertising, which is, for most of the marketers, even until this day, is like a Bible for them. It's a really extensive book, a really extensive way to explain every single detail about how people react with you, how they are in different stages, how you should react as a business, how you should create your content based on these levels. The levels by itself, this is a nice overview that I have found. So, the levels of marketing sophistication means that you will be, your business, your offer, your marketing will be in one of these 5 levels, right? It could be that you're just starting out, then you're definitely at level 1. Birth of market, just make any claim, which means that you're new to it, you're new with the business, you're new to the market. So you have to make something, some kind of a unique claim that will set you apart from the others. It's about being unique. It's about being the first of doing this. And I talk about this a lot, and it's really important that if you're starting out, that you make sure that you are unique, right? That you don't do everything like anybody else. But of course, like once you start promoting yourself and your business and people start knowing about you, more and more competition will be there. So then you have to be more sophisticated, and then you have to make your claims bigger than your competition. And so you go on level by level by level, right? At level 3, you would introduce a mechanism, a specific mechanism that is unique again to your business. So if it's about time management, it can be something unique as a mechanism, but you can call it like that, but maybe it's the same as others. But it's a specific mechanism that you use for time management, right? So, for instance, our time management course is definitely different than any other out there, because the mechanism that I use for time management is my own, is my personal one, and it's unique. So I almost don't need to compete with others because it's just mine. And the mechanism to do time management is different enough. So, well, if you want to compare two things of time management, it's almost impossible. Now, again, competition will maybe copy it, and then you have to create an even better mechanism or an upgraded version, and so on and so on. Until you reach at level 5, where everybody is skeptical about what you're doing, about all these kind of offers. And then you have to really be advanced at what you're doing within marketing. Now, this is a brief overview. I'm not the expert in this. I know this is important to know about, because at each different level, your message will be different, and you have to think about how can you stand out above the crowd, above the noise, right? That is like the first thing. But then you also have levels of awareness. And now this becomes more interesting because this is about your potential customer. It's about your potential buyer, right? And again, this is also a term coined by Eugene Schwartz. And it talks about how, in what stage your potential customer is. So just think about this. You're just entering the market and you want to target people that having issues maybe with their weight or with their health or with their business. Yeah, maybe let's talk about business, because I remember when I did the marketing agency scaling program, the coaching program that I did for marketing agencies to help them scale. That is a perfect example because once I was talking to specific people, some people really didn't want to know anything what I had to sell. And I was always wondering, like, why? I mean, I have something amazing here. It will help them scale. Why are they not interested in this? Now, usually in that case, I remember that was because they were unaware that they even had a problem, right? Maybe they were struggling with good team efficiency to scale, or even with time management again to scale, but they were really unaware of that. Uh, Most of the people that I talked to were already doing pretty well, so they weren't really aware of the fact that if they could improve their situation, their team, their time management, they could even scale even further. So, hey Raymond, nice to see you. Um, so that's where Raymond is in the show here, just to show that you're here. So they were unaware of their own problems, right? So at that stage, instead of me trying to say that they had a problem in my marketing and that I had the solution for them, well, I shouldn't be doing this, because as you can see here, if they would be problem aware or even solution aware, then I could put out a message, a marketing message, where I could prove that my product is the solution. No, because they were unaware, I had to actually start educating, demonstrating, and entertaining. Here we go with the entertaining again. But this is the stage where a lot of people are in. And if you're creating content, marketing content, then you should be aware of what stage they are in. And you should also be, how should I say, aware that if people are not engaging with that content or reacting or whatever, it doesn't always mean that they haven't seen it, or it doesn't mean that they don't like it. It means that probably the audience that you're putting the message in front of is in another stage than your content is in. So, again, if you would put out content that talks about or proves how good your product is, but you put it in front of an audience that is even unaware that they have a problem, well, nobody will care about your solution because they are not even aware that they have a problem, if that makes sense, right? So that is why it's it's not easy. I will tell you that it's not easy to create the right kind of content for the audience that you have and to know in what stage they're at. That's also why, if you're creating content, you have to create content for each stage. Remember? So you should be creating content for people that are unaware, for people that are problem aware, solution aware, your solution aware, most aware, and so on and so on. So that is important as well. But then you also have the marketing funnel. And this comes also into play when we're talking about sales, because I really want to talk, I don't want to just talk about content marketing, right? content creation or anything like that just separately. No, for me, creating content is about getting sales. I mean, I don't see a point in creating content just for the entertaining factor unless I would be an entertainer or I would be a content creator by profession where the only way to get customers is to create content. But that's another business. That's the business that I'm talking about here is about selling a product, selling a service, selling a program, right? That can get people a transformation. Either it's in health, wealth, or relationships. One of those three. With your product, with your business, you can get them from point A to point B. That's the kind of business that I'm talking about, right? YouTubers and TikTokers that are doing this for a living, this is something else, of course. So that being said, if we're talking, so levels of sophistication, levels of awareness, those are already two things that you need to take into account. The third thing is about the marketing funnel, connecting it with sales. Because if we look at, again, a buyer's journey, the journey of your prospect, of your ideal customer, they will be in specific stages across the whole journey, right? And it connects more or less to levels of awareness. But here we look more at, okay, let's just say that they are in the level that they are solution aware, problem aware, solution aware. So they already know that they have a problem and they know that there is a specific solution. So then at that stage, we need to get them through funnel. So eventually they will want to buy from us. They want to purchase. That's where we want to get them, right? So we have to get them from awareness stage to the interest stage to consideration, intent, evaluation, purchase. And as you can see here at the left side and the right side, each stage corresponds, like it connects with either marketing or sales. Honestly, for me, it's marketing and sales. It's a lot of this is overlapping. For me, there is not so much a big of distinction between marketing and sales because your sales process already starts with your marketing message. Because remember what I said, we want to have sales with our content, right? So if we put out a piece of content, okay, it's marketing, but it's also sales because it's our first touch point with a potential buyer. And we want to create those kind of touch points before we get them onto a sales call. So it becomes easier to sell our product service program, right? So for me, like you see here, then like first two stages were marketing and the rest were sales, and now it's more marketing than sales. You can look at it that way. I look at it as, okay, it overlaps. And if you have a marketing team and a sales team, for me, honestly, they should be the same team almost. Like the sales guy should be next to the marketing guy, for example, and they should talk to each other on a daily basis. Because the sales guy will talk to the buyers, potential buyers, so he will be more informed about their language, what they use as terms, what their pains are, their beliefs are. That information needs to go back to the marketing people so they can create marketing messages that actually talks that language, if that makes sense, right? So important here. Anyway, so you get them through this funnel as well. So every piece of content that you create should be involved in one of these stages. So if somebody is in the consideration stage then your piece of content to that specific person, hopefully, can get them to the intent phase, the evaluation phase, or the purchase phase, right? Again, it sounds easier than it is, right? Because remember, you already have three kind of levels and categories and yeah, categories, like, I don't know how you say it really in English, but you have those three levels really that you have to take care of, that you have to take into account. So once you create a piece of content, it's not easy to take into account everything. You have to be aware of it. If you just think like any piece of content that I'm going to put out there will create sales, then you're fooling yourself. Then you're lying to yourself. So stop doing that. You're just going to get frustrated, stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, all of it together because you think that people should react, should engage, should book a call with you, but you didn't really take into account that you're in one of these levels of market sophistication and your buyer is in one of these stages, unaware, most aware, whatever, and maybe they're even not down the funnel yet. So if you're at even if you're at level 4, for example, here, and they're unaware, and you create a piece of content that wants to get them to purchase something, it will never land. It will never stick to anybody because it's completely disconnected from where they're at, what they believe, or what they perceive as something they would need or want, right? So what do people then do? They create cute reels, cute TikToks, and hope it will resonate with people. But okay, this is not really the way that you can create something sustainable, repeatable, connected to what your audience wants. And honestly, I do not care how much views, replies, engagement your videos have. For me, it's about this. It's about being strategic about what you're doing, right? It's the same way as we run businesses. We don't guess what we need to do to build our business. We don't guess how to do finances, how to do taxes, how to do fulfillment, client success, and all of that. All the cute reels, all the cute TikToks is just the beginning, right? Go ahead, make those, but be aware that people that react, engage, like those kind of videos, that kind of content fit in any of these levels. It's up to you if they go through the funnel to actually know where they're at. Because if they're getting on the phone with you to buy your service or buy your product or whatever, and they've come through the funnel not even aware that actually this is what you're doing, or it's going to be a fail on sales side. Okay, that's just what I see here and what I find very important. Now, going more practical. So once you know these kind of levels and all of these situations, then we need to talk about, okay, I have this program, this service, this product. Now, how do I start with even knowing what to create content about? Because it can be related to the right kind of people, the ones that are aware, that are in level 2, that are almost ready to purchase, right? So how that I know my audience. Now, what do I create about content? About what? What is the content itself? That's where I recommend to define your pillars. If you have a product, service, program, then list out the three most important pillars. Like within Titanology, for example, I talk a lot about offer. I talk a lot about conversational marketing. I talk a lot about sales. So those three can be the pillars of the Titan Hustler Academy. It is different than the community side of Titanology, which is about connections, which is about um, meeting new people, which is about sharing experiences, stuff like that. So those are then other different three pillars of what we want to convey as a message. So it depends on your service, but it also depends on your offer that you're presenting right there. Okay. So think about that. Create those three. Okay. Once you have those three, those are the core pillars. Those are the core things, subjects that you need to create content around. But then you also need to think about the beliefs of your potential buyer, because these beliefs are important. Why? Because you need to get your persona, your avatar, your ideal customers away from their current limiting beliefs and make sure that they start believing that you are the one to help them. So they can be aware of their situation, aware of a problem. They can be ready to buy. You might have a very sophisticated level of marketing already. But if they still believe that the problem they can solve it themselves, they don't need anybody, or it's too expensive, then you will have a problem selling your product to them. So it's always a good idea to make sure that you know those kind of beliefs that they might have before you get them on the phone, before you get them through a funnel, so you can speak to that. That's why creating a belief cycle where you go through every step, every belief that they have, breaking it down until you get to the belief that they should have, that they really should work with you, should buy from you. Connect that belief with the fact that they are aware of your solution, that they are ready to buy, and that your marketing really speaks to them, then it should be easy to get them on a sale, to get them to buy from you, right? That's why you need to create a belief cycle. Creating your content around that is important. Now, that's already a lot, right, to take into account. I know. So start small. Create one content cycle for one pillar. And a content cycle, I will show you in a minute what that means, is really just 2 weeks worth of content for one particular pillar. And then you can still think about in what stage your audience would be. So each piece of that content can speak to a specific stage of awareness. You have 2 weeks of content. So not every piece of content needs to be related to a specific level of awareness. One content piece can be pointed to people that are unaware. One other piece of content can be about or pointed related to people that are aware, and so on and so on, right? But all of it is about one pillar. It's about sales, for example, if that is within your pillars, right? And it also involves the beliefs. Okay. It also involves your market sophistication, where you put your uniqueness into it. right? And that is so create that one content cycle as an exercise. Try that out. Create it, plan it, get it out there, and get the feedback. Once you have done one cycle of 2 weeks, then you can get the feedback and improve on that. And you create another one, and another one, and another one. At a certain point, you should be able to create content if you have like 3 pillars, right? And let's say that we can create one piece of content each day. So in total, that's 14, if you count like 7 days a week, right? 14 days, 14 pieces of content for one pillar. So if you do it right, then at a certain point, you can have 3 pillars, like 3 content cycles at the same time going on. So that is 3 content pieces a day, each of them about a specific pillar, each of them pointed at a specific level of awareness, sophistication, and so on and so on. So you can already imagine that if you do that, blasting out the content strategically, then at a certain point, you will get the traction that you deserve, right? Because it's about consistency, it's about making sure you get enough touch points and whatnot. But there's one big piece that you still need to do, even if you're blasting out a lot of that content. And before I go into the example, it's about the thing here in yellow. Start talking. It's amazing to see people putting out content every single day and not talking to people, not talking to people that put a like or engage. Even if you have one like, well, that one person deserves you to be talking to them in DMs. Yeah, because if they like your post, at least you know that it connects with them. So if the content connects with them, and you were really strategic about your content, and you know that this was for people that are unaware, that are ready to buy, for example, because they want to buy something. No, maybe they're more aware and ready to buy. Makes more sense. But you know what I mean. And then you have to talk to them, because it's by talking to them that you can create more opportunities. And yes, you can also create funnels and point people. The call to action can be pointing to a landing page and so on. That is for sure also possible. But why not just talking to people, right? If this is a full-time engagement, if this is a full-time job for you, then you have the time to at least start talking. And the talking, the DMing doesn't have to take hours. I always advise to ask 3 qualifying questions and then get them on the phone. That's it. How long does it take? Not long, right? Don't write books in DMs. Anyway, so that is definitely, if you want to get sales with your content, talking to people, well, it's one of those things that is missing in a lot of these businesses that think that they don't get sales because their content is not good enough. Anyway, let's talk about an example. Let's see if I can share my screen. So I'm going to stop this. Yeah, do we see this? Yeah, perfect. Okay. So this is my canvas to come up with the strategy to create the content. Now, it's a lot. It can be really overwhelming if we go through all of this. So I'm not going to go through all of this. most of these things that I put in Miro are also as a reference for me to remind me what to do and what not to do. But it's a great way to visualize things. And I will also show you like a content cycle, how that can look like. So first of all, it's about the pillars, right? So you can create the pillars around your offer. In our case, it's the Titan Hustler Academy. And the pillars could be about your outcomes. It can be about, okay, one pillar is more leads, more sales, more freedom. Or you can do it like what I said before. It's about offer, organic marketing, sales. Okay. These are your three core pillars you can create content around for this particular offer, which is the Titan Hustler Academy. So what I do then is I can look here like, okay, what are specific content pieces that I can create for each phase? And you can see all of these. So this is a great list for me to take a look at. And then I go deeper. I go take a look at, okay, so I want them actually to purchase, right? The main purpose, the goal is here to purchase or to get into the Title Hustler Academy. So for each pillar, I need to think about specific content in each of the stages: awareness, interest, consideration, and so on. Then I have to think about, okay, what will I do? Okay, a blog post about niching down. But then I also have to think about, okay, what are the stages that they can be in? So in the awareness stage, they can be unaware, problem aware, or solution aware, right? That's where I create then content for each of those, right? Can I do this? I don't know. Yeah, like this. So I create content for this, for this, for this. From a blog post, I can create 3 pieces right here. So I have like 1, 2, 3, 4 already. Then also can create a belief shift post. And a belief shift, remember what I said about the fact that you can have to create or relate to their beliefs. So if they're in this stage, they have a specific belief. It can be a belief about the fact that they don't have a problem, basically. So if you want to get them from unaware to, for example, problem aware, you can use a belief shift post. This is a specific type of content that revolves around their specific belief. And within that post, you want to change their belief. That's the idea. Okay. So then you can get them from here to here. But then again, you already have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces already. Just from this offer core piece, and it's actually just about niching down, for example, right? Because niching down is something that relates to offer building. You also have a story post where you build a story around what you have done and you relate that, you connect that to a specific content, the pillar, the offer, the niching down. So you can already quickly see that you can create a lot of content 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces about niching down in the offer pillar. Only in this stage, right? If you build this out completely, then you can already imagine how much content you could create that's actually strategic, and that you know, okay, this piece of content here that I created, and this has like 5 likes. Okay, I know people are unaware, but they are resonating with it. So I'm shifting them to be aware. Now I have to get them into the interest. Then there's another type of post, and so on and so on, until you get them into the stage to buy. So you won't get them from here to here immediately. You can, if you talk to people through DMs and you get them on the phone, you should be able to do that, but not instantly. That's not the purpose of doing this kind of post. Okay. So this is how you can strategically start doing that. Then it's about planning, right? And this is a little bit of an example what I have done in the first couple of weeks of December. It's planning all these content pieces, and I try to be consistent with doing the same kind of pieces on the same days. So it becomes easy for me to know, okay, it's Monday, so I have to put up maybe a benefits post or something about the podcast and so on, because the podcast is then also a pillar and so on and so on. So but you can see the colors are connected, so you can create a cycle of 2 weeks, for example, about the Title Master live session if you want to. Right? So this is a visualization. Now you can go even a step further and really go deep. And let's show this. I don't know if you can see this. Okay, I have to stop sharing. Hold on. And I will share another screen here because I want to show you this. Yep. ClickUp. I want to show you ClickUp because this is where we keep track of all the posts that we do with our team. And here you can see like the organic funnel about the Titan Hustler Academy. So again, about the pillars, about the types of posts, belief posts, story posts, two-step posts. And then I can also connect that to the actual post. So today I posted a belief shift post about time management, which relates to the Title Hustler Academy, the offer building, and so on and so on. Okay. And here you can see the tracking of all the posts, what it is about, and so on. So this really helps out with the administration of all these kind of funnels. Because it's important that you keep track of this, not just to see how much engagement it gets, but also to have an archive. Because the post that you do today, 2 weeks from now, everybody forgot about it. So it makes sense to repurpose content. You can give it another headline or update the copy a little bit, but in principle, it's the same content, just repurposed, right? And that makes it easy, but you have to keep track of this. So we use ClickUp for that. So yeah, that is more or less our system to make sure that I wouldn't say it can get overwhelming, but it is structured, it is strategic, and it's also about making sure that we know that the content that we're creating is actually connected to one of those levels of sophistication, awareness, and so on. So it connects to the people that we want to get on the phone, that we want to sell to, right? Because again, if your content is getting a lot of engagement, a lot of likes, but it doesn't get any sales, think about the different kind of levels. Or maybe you're just not talking to them, actually personally talking to them. It might be a team member that is talking to them, but somebody should be talking to them. And that is so important. And one of the core pieces as well within the Titan Hustler Academy that I cannot stress enough to do. So let me go back to the presentation here for a moment, because I think we're almost at the end. I want to end with this kind of quote. To continue winning the internet marketing game, your content has to be more than just brilliant. It has to give people consuming that content the ability to become a better version of themselves. And for me, this relates back to where they're at and what stage. If they're unaware, they should become aware. If they're aware, what is the specific solution that they can use? And piece by piece, you help them become a better version of themselves because you're helping them understand that they need help and you help them to get that help, right? So they become a better version of themselves. So it's again not just about creating the best content piece, unless you're a content creator, but it's also about making sure that you can help people become a better version of themselves, right? Anyway, a bit longer than foreseen, but this is really the basics, only just a scratch of the surface of what's behind it. If you want to know more, just reach out to me, to us. Titleology.world is our website. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok. Yes, TikTok as well. Everywhere. We're everywhere. So just connect with us, follow us, share what you have seen. Let me know if this was valuable. Let me know if you have some questions right now that I can answer. If you have some questions afterwards, just post them in the comments or reach out to me. Send me a DM, or I will send a DM to you if you like this. I will definitely follow up. Again, guys, girls, everybody that is watching, we are all in this together. All the titans out there within the LGBTQ plus community. It's important that everybody sees this and like has the knowledge to create the right kind of content for their audience. Doesn't matter who you are, what gender you are, what sexuality you are. Doesn't matter anything. You have your audience. You know who you want to relate to. So create the right kind of content for your audience, right? Again, if you have some questions, reach out to me. I'm here. I'm Stefano Vreze. I'm your title master, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.